married, call me Nini, whatever you want to do. I'm a young adult, and yeah, I'm 25 years of age, and I've been at UTEC since like March.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. Your turn.
I'm Gabby. I'm 22. I'm a young adult at UTEC. I've been there for almost a year. It'll be a year in March.
Okay. And I'm Melinda Barrett. I'm a Haverhill City Councilor, and I'm running for mayor.
Nice. Okay, so the first question for you is, why are you running for mayor, and what is your vision for mayor?
Well, my 10 years experience as a city councilor is added to my 23 years as a small business owner in the city. And prior to that, my family had a men's clothing store in the city for 80 something years. So basically, we were a staple of downtown for 100 years. I want to see a vibrant, lively city with diversity and culture and jobs for people that live in the city.
So the next one I have is, as a young adult, I see that there's a lot of housing insecurities that people in the community face. Can you speak about your plan to help the homeless or like the unhoused community?
Yeah, Haverhill does a lot, not necessarily the city, but we have other players in that area. The city budget doesn't allow, we use our CDBG money, our funding to try to help. And we just passed an inclusionary zoning provision. So with the money that we expect developers, anybody building over 10 units, have to pay, either build affordable housing as 10% affordable as a part of their program, or buy it out. And with that money, if they do buy out, we're going to use those funds to partner with players in housing development and affordable housing to help fund affordable housing. It's kind of a long-range plan. It's not, tomorrow, but it's a way to work in that environment. The city isn't a builder, but we can partner with people that are in that.
Third question is, what are your plans and ideas for addressing rising housing costs and increasing access to affordable housing?
Unfortunately, the market is crazy right now. And it's not in Haverhill, it's around the state, it's around the country. Interest rates are so high. People that used to qualify for first-time home buyers money, because the interest rates are so high and the price costs are so high, state and federal programs, they can't even use them right now because it just doesn't qualify. And that's where that affordable housing, inclusionary zoning ordinance will help, because we can, the feds and the state have strict standards on how you apply their money. We can still be strict, but we can play around a little more with who qualifies and help them with down payments. I wish the state allowed us to, when a developer comes before the city council or before the city, we can't dictate to them that they make apartments or condos. They get to choose. I would like to see more condos in the city. We probably approved 1,500 units in the last 4 or 5 years. Not all have been built, most haven't yet, but most of them are apartments. So, we need apartments, we need all types of housing in Haverhill, but we also want people to be able to start to build generational wealth. And, paying for rent all the time doesn't get you there. A small condo, you could start to build something, some equity, and progress from there.
Okay, so at UTEC we work on local, statewide, and sometimes national issues. Would you be willing or interested to help support our legislative efforts like expungement and raise the age of consent?
I would.
Okay. Do you have any ideas on how to expand job opportunities in Haverhill, specifically for at-risk young adults?
Well, we're hoping we can, we have 2 large industrial areas in the city that employ a lot of people. We hope to, I've been working with Councilor Mitchison and Rep. Vargas on a smart hub, for development of different biotech industries, trying to lure people. They can't afford to build in Cambridge or inner Boston. And we're pretty attractive because we have the infrastructure, water, sewer, that can support a large commercial, industrial building and development. And we're hoping to attract that type of big businesses that, you know, you can start at the bottom and work your way up or get training. We're also working with Mass Biotech to try to get a bioversity, which would, you'd get a certificate after a short time in this bioversity. So you could go to work in any of these biomanufacturing or industries. You'd have the qualifications where you could get a really decent paying job and get the training you need to get that job. Other than that, I think there are trainings through NECO that we can offer people, even through Make It Haverhill, if you need computer skills or you need language help, to help people get in that door. You hear that there's demand for employees. It's sometimes just the fit isn't there. We just have to train up to get you there.
Thank you. Let me start with another question. How do you plan to support at-risk youth in your community?
Well, we support places like UTEC, like Leaving the Streets, Somebody Cares. There are a lot of players, Emmaus House, that are in that world, the Y, the Boys and Girls Clubs. We're lucky. I mean, we're a city, we have city problems, but we have a lot of different groups working in that environment. And, the city doesn't have the bandwidth to do all the things that everybody else is doing, but we can be supportive, we can help. I hope, if I'm elected, we can get all the players together on a regular basis to see, where people are slipping through the cracks, or who can cover somebody that is just not being serviced.
Thank you.
So can you provide an example of how you included youth in your past work and how you plan on including the youth through your future work?
Well, I've always supported UTEC. I've always supported Leaving the Streets. In my daily life, I always employed, young adults when I had my business. And, I hope we can continue to do something like that.
What ways do you plan on supporting Haverhill gun violence prevention?
I think we're lucky in Haverhill in that our police are really, for being as low manpower as they have been over the years, they have been very proactive, especially, since the time UTEC has come into town. We are lucky that we work well together, in the community to take care of issues before they erupt. Be proactive rather than reactive, and I think that's important. And I think we're lucky that we have so many different agencies working with the youth in the city. So perhaps we can stop things before they erupt.
So what do you want young adults to know about your campaign?
Well, I'm gonna try to open the city up. We're gonna have, open dialogues. We'll try to take people out of their different silos where they're working and all meet at a table so the city can hear what everyone's doing. So everybody that's in any particular venue of work will know what other players in that venue are doing. And I think communication will be key. I hope we have, a clear gov platform so taxpayers know where their money's going. We have plans for zoning that fit what the citizens want in the city. So we have a lot of, there's been a lot of good work done, but we can do a lot better as far as our communication and just opening up the process to different groups.
Thank you. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Was it 5? What are you the most passionate about?
I'm passionate about the city. I mean, I am hilly through and through. Went to Haverhill High, went to UMass Amherst, came back. I've worked in the city my entire life. I didn't leave town for my job. I had a business here. And I see the best, which is, maybe I see the city through rose-colored glasses, but even at bad times, there are so many people trying to do the right thing and help that I'm really optimistic for the city.
So what distinguishes you from the other candidates?
Well, I'm a former business owner. I now have my real estate license, although I'm not doing real estate because you can't show houses and run for office for mayor at the same time. But I have a depth of knowledge from being a 10-year city councilor. I know department heads. I understand different issues from different aspects of the city because of my work on the city council. I was a small business owner, so I understand, the hardships and the difficulties that small business owners face. And I don't think anybody else in the arena has that.
What plans do you have for school safety as rising gun violence is in our city?
We've been lucky. We have a pretty active SRO program, and they do great work. Anything can happen at any time. We have proactively brought on mental health workers, adjustment counselors in our schools to try to, help kids through difficult times.
So what do you think are the biggest needs right now?
We need to beef up our public safety because, both fire and police. We need to improve our schools. People make a decision whether to stay in the community based on their schools. We need economic development so we can pay for police and fire and schools, because we can't burden the taxpayer, the homeowner, for all of these things. So there's we need all these things, but we have to pay for all these things. We also have to petition the state. They've issued a lot of laws and regulations, and they don't fund them necessarily. So we have to petition them to fund some of these programs that they kind of hoist on the city. We're a big city. We're really diverse. We have city problems and we have country problems. Haverhill's kind of unique in that we're so large and we have such varied areas.
Okay, what are your policy goals as mayor?
I'd like to see if we can impact our school scores through data-driven decision making. I'd like to enliven downtown. I'd love to see what we propose for the parking garage on Merrimack Street to come to fruition. I'd like to have an 18-hour downtown economy where a small store could open and survive. Right now, we have a really happening restaurant kind of row on Washington Street. And typically, when I had my business downtown, Merrimack Street was business-oriented banks, debt collection, third-party, players as far as in mortgages and such. That's kind of waned over the last few years. In an effort to develop Merrimack Street, you had to tear down a lot of places that held businesses. So that kind of ended a lot of foot traffic for daytime businesses. PMA is a great driver of business downtown, but you can't sustain a business unless you have a lot of people in the area. So I think development of an 18-hour economy will help Merrimack Street. It'll help Washington Street. So your core downtown might be even able to expand. Right now, for a city our size, our downtown is really small. When you think of like, if you go to Lowell, like downtown is massive. We don't have to be massive, but we could be a little more than, Washington and Merrimack Street and a little street off of here or there. So, you know, with that, you could see small businesses thriving if you did have people there during the day, you know, with disposable income. And then at night, if they come home, and we have apartments and condos, then they spend money at night too, so.
Thank you.
So the final question we have is, what do you think are the skills that you possess that would make you a qualified mayor?
I'm pretty even-tempered. I am open to conversation. I think I am able to discern information and make a decision. I have some knowledge base, so it will help me. I think we're lucky in Haverhill. We have some great department heads, and I think we have to let them do what they do best and not micromanage them, but let them, you know, give them a task, let them do it, and take their advice rather than, you know, disregard their years of experience and advice.
Thank you.
Thank you.